So I've been stuck inside the house for around a week now without leaving, and I will say I'm getting a little weird. I may have to go for a drive and get out of here for a little bit and just get out and just do something. So haven't showered in a couple days, haven't left the house in probably like a week, and I'm weird. So I've been doing fish tank stuff like crazy. I got projects here, projects there, and today I want to get back on the Marineland 5-gallon Fluval Stratum planted aquarium because I love this tank. I've done one video on it so far, and you guys have reached out to me and told me what I should do, or what I did wrong, essentially. Let's just dive right into it. So in the last video on the Fluval Stratum, you guys informed me that I used too much of it, and I was thinking 3 inches is probably too much. I was kind of getting ahead of myself in thinking that I was going to use some deep-seated root plants, but, you know, they don't need that much substrate, so you guys were completely right. So I started by taking out 1 inch of this substrate. Again, I can't say enough positive things about Fluval Stratum. This is like the top tier planet tank substrate because you can move it around like this, and my water column isn't even that dirty. So I just cannot stress how good the Fluval Stratum is, guys. If you're thinking about it, I'll throw a link in the description box. Take a look at it. I was trying to figure out a good showcase plant that I could put in the 5-gallon tank that would really just kind of make it pop, and I wanted it low tech because the light on there isn't the best, so I immediately thought of this giant Java fern I have in my 40-gallon breeder. Java fern doesn't necessarily have to be rooted into the substrate, but I really love the look of it, and I feel like with a little piece of wood and this Java fern in this 5-gallon tank, it would be perfect because I also want to keep some shrimp, and I feel like Java ferns are just great for shrimp because they're like a low clearance plant, and they use a lot of the substrate surface area like shrimp do. So yes, some people might argue that throwing Java fern in a really expensive substrate might be a waste because I could literally throw it on a piece of wood, but I'm doing me here, so this is it, and I really am obsessed with the look of Java fern. Like I said, I'm trying to keep things super simple in this tank because I'm not an aquascape king and I'm not super good with fancy plants. So this is a low-tech plant, and I'll probably just throw a cool piece of wood in there to kind of work with the plant. Taking a closer look at this Java fern, I think it might have been malnourished in that 40-gallon breeder, just because you can see it's throwing off babies, and that's sometimes what they do when that's happening. Well guys, it's been a couple days now for the Marineland 5-gallon tank. The Java fern has settled in a bit, and the substrate is kind of just laid down. The water's crystal clear, the sponge filter is in the back working properly. This tank is not cycled, but what I'll probably do is throw some snails in there to kind of just do a super slow cycle. And as I said, the Java fern was kind of dying back, I think, a little bit, because it was throwing off shooters, aka maybe you'd call them babies. I'm hoping that the Fluval Stratum kind of helps this plant come back to life and just explode in growth. That would be the perfect scenario, right, guys? Also, I'm completely out of Aquarium Co-op's Easy Green, so I gotta get some of that in the mail and get it here because a lot of my planted tanks, they need that stuff. They love it. I've been playing with other fertilizers. They love the Aquarium Co-op stuff, so I gotta get me some more of that. Free plug, Corey. Love the fertilizer. Let's take a closer look at this tank now, guys. So here's a better glimpse at the light, and please mind you, the mess it's a hot mess right now, guys. This is my office. I do a lot of videos in here, but I really appreciate having this tank to the left of me to just keep my nerves calm. It chills me out. And again, I will say that I am not an aquascaping professional. You guys know that. I kind of am known for being the YouTuber that shows you the reality of fish keeping. I try my best, but I'm learning with plants just like everyone else, and this is real life, and it's probably a lot of those fancy YouTubers, the stuff you see in their videos is probably not most likely what you're going to do in your tank. Not trying to be a total buzzkill, but I've just kind of learned that it's just not reality, even though we love being entertained with all these fancy aquascaper stuff. Here's another example. I'm attempting this DIY waterfall/river thing, and they got a lot of hate comments. People were like, oh, the aquascapers are laughing now. But this is the reality of just doing stuff yourself like this, and I don't know, it's just how it is. I guess the next step for this 5-gallon Fluval Stratum planted aquarium is going to be finding a cool piece of wood to lay in here. And if I'm being honest, I'm just going to literally go out in my yard and find a small oak branch to put in here. I'm kind of going to eye up a certain design though. Let me know what you guys think of this tank, guys. Whoop whoop!